Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear friends. It's another exciting moment again, especially when you see me and my best friend together in this studio. It's always a joyous time to be together. And of course, the last week has been hectic. We all know we cannot say we want to digest that in a rush. We need time. We need to take it all in. We need to get everybody excited because it's too much for some people and it's just enough for others. So as you join us, guys, join me first to welcome our own best friend in the house, Jeffrey Molo. Jeffrey, once again, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you so very much. I love being here and I love being here with you. Thank you, Comfort.
Thank you, Jeffrey. It's always a pleasure. So tell us, people are so excited. What's making you excited these days? I know that a lot is happening. Just tell us anything. What is exciting you these days?
Man, you're right. There is a lot that is going on. There's a lot that's exciting me. I get goosebumps. I get electrified when I start thinking about what happened to me personally in Boston, meeting and speaking with Mr. MUFAREH and so many of the wonderful leaders. It has changed me. It has really heightened my perspective and given me some depth into how I now look at the leaders and how I look at our journey and how we look at Onpassive. But specifically for exciting things to be happening, I mean, we're obviously giving away a car and 15 iPhones was great. The Dubai thing, whoo, man, that was over the top. I mean, whoever expected us to be in the tallest building in the world, even before we opened publicly. Additionally, we are coming up on if I can use the train metaphor, the train is left the station and we're rounding a bend, so to speak, in that we're coming up on a time where we're going to start the marketing and the money flow programs are going to be tested in a pre-public or a pre-launch type of a scenario. It's just a matter of days, maybe 2 or 3 weeks tops, probably. I mean, it's anybody's guess, but Mr. MUFAREH has already said we're going to be losing the opportunity for the founders. That door is going to be shut. Founders like you and me and those viewing us here, Comfort, are going to be in very, very good shape. And once that goes, Mr. MUFAREH is going to be able to speak to us more directly. He's going to be able to give us more information about what is going on with the timelines and what we can expect. Right. And on top of that, that's going to pave the way for us to open publicly. And even before that happens, we'll start getting a little bit of dinero, a little bit of moneda, a little jack in our pockets through commission and bonuses and stuff. So life is just good for us. It's exciting, and there's a lot of things going on.
Hello, thank you. Sure, that was a great summary. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I know, like I said, my new thing now is because I've discovered we are excited, others are not. So we need to go deep and deep. What was that thing that happened on the 30th, the day you met Ash face to face? What was the thing that happened, the mega event? Was it the launch of Onpassive, or what exactly was that event? What was it?
It was not the launch of Onpassive, although if you wanted to technically say, I mean, we've got a footprint in Dubai. Yeah. The event of that day, which Mr. MUFAREH aptly termed the top, was an indication that Onpassive is in the top floor of that building. We own the 151st floor of the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world. We also own the 134th floor in that building. But the big deal was the top floor. It is right now just an office space. It doesn't have the furniture. It doesn't have the equipment. We own the space. It's going to take them 2 or 3 months to outfit it. But we also had a celebration that same day leading up to the Dubai building and the laser light show. I certainly encourage anybody, all you got to do is, if you Google Onpassive Dubai, you're going to come up with that light show. But we also had the event in Hyderabad where they recognized 15 or so of the outstanding employees there, the staff, the techs, the engineers, the people doing the work behind the scenes. Gave away probably a dozen and a half almost of the iPhone Pro Maxes. And that culminated there with the giveaway of another car. I think that's like the fourth one in as many months that they've given away there. And then obviously the celebration culminated in the light show in Dubai. Now, what that was exactly, it is not rather a launch of Onpassive. It is another step. It is another top that we have reached in Onpassive on the way to our public opening. There will be more tops. There will be more events, and we will continue to grow and develop and to continue in the same vein or on the same journey. We're just going to do things a little differently. Now, Mr. MUFAREH has indicated that he's got some more events, and he says, catch me if you can. You don't know what country I'm going to show up in, right? I mean, personally, I'm thinking he's going to probably show up in, well, it won't be Bangladesh. I'm thinking Singapore, but I mean, I don't know,
Right.
And that's all part and parcel of it, and that's what we love about it. But
yeah,
your question, the 30th was about the top, about us getting into that very, very prestigious spot, and nobody else can do it like we do it.
All right. Thank you so much. We just want to accept greetings from John Borilla. He's right here with us and he's sending greetings. Shawan Gupta, thank you guys for joining. Guys, give us some thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet, share, and let's share this excitement together. Thank you once again, Jeffrey. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name today. There's one thing, I've listened to a lot of stuff after that, a lot of analysis in various platforms. You and other people have said a lot. You gave some facts about Dubai. There is this excitement about us finding a place in Dubai. What is the significance of Dubai to this business?
Wow. Oh my gracious. I'm so glad you asked that question, because I'll tell you what, as soon as I heard Dubai, I just went, oh man, he was right. I never would have guessed that. Dubai, as a country, it was actually born the same year, as a matter of fact, as Bangladesh in 1971. The prince at the time, and he's got a long name, it's about this long. He wanted Dubai to be developed as a digital leader in the world. And because of his vision and him pouring, I'm sure, what equates to trillions of dollars into the economy and into the infrastructure of the city, it has become a leading technological center in the world. Okay. It is also geographically located centrally to huge businesses and countries that are also developing and things like that. So from Dubai, you can get anywhere in the world just pretty easily. They have strategies, at least 7 on record that I know of, 7 strategies for creating a digital city and moving forward into the future. Now, they have got some incredible things going on with the government, because they're pouring billions and billions of dollars into education and into technology into the city. And they're doing lots of grants and lots of products. They're doing lots of technology transfer things. They are also courting. I'll say courting. They're soliciting. They're trying to bring into the country these top tech companies. Which, I mean, you look at Onpassive. Man, Mr. MUFAREH said it 2 years ago, said, hey, we're not starting off like the rest of the folks did, right? When we looked at, and Mr. MUFAREH looked at the companies, he looked at how they were run. He looked at the Facebook and the Walmart and the JP Morgan and the Googles. He looked at them. That's what we built our system on. And he said, we're not starting off. We're starting off bigger than they are. And we can see now just how big we are with all the physical products we have coming out, all the digital products we've got coming out. We've got offices in Bangalore and Hyderabad and Singapore. They're working on getting them in another spot in Bangladesh. We're moving. We belong in Dubai. Now, to give you an idea of how Dubai is expressing itself digitally and wants to grow, they've actually got plans to put in I think it's called Hyperloop technology transfer system that Elon Musk actually came up with, and it's a track with a evacuated tube of some sort that travels at really high speeds, and they've got a plan to put that into the system as well. So I mean, they've got other plans, but to answer your question, Dubai is really important because they're the first global digital city, and that's by design. That's their plan. They're bringing in tons of top global worldwide technology companies, okay? And it is centrally located for anybody to get anywhere from there. So those are some pretty big reasons why we're there.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. Yeah, you just made us understand from the beginning that actually what we were celebrating is that top position we have in the best place in the world so far to establish our business and so on. And which means nothing has, we are not launched yet, nothing has started. But Marty at some point said, Onpassive is going to be shown on 120 largest screens in the world, showing Onpassive round the clock. So is that something that is still, because those are things that make people think, aha, we're already launched. So is that the plan for marketing campaign, or is it already going on? And if it's already showing on the screens, what is that?
Well, now there's another thing that is very important about Dubai, simply that it is a test bed for our marketing. Now, Mr. MUFAREH, I hesitate to say he owns every screen in that building, but I know that he is running marketing in Dubai every day now. So that's another big thing about Dubai, because even though we have not launched, technically it is the beginning of the launching of the marketing campaigns. So it's a big step. That's another big feather in our cap. And through Dubai and through this marketing, they can have the techs and the engineers, the people that are making it all happen and streaming the information. They get to test how it really looks and how it really acts. They get to see in this limited environment, although it's huge, because when there's videos out there now that, I mean, he showed us some of these screens on the corners of Dubai streets are 20 by 20 feet big. And there's one on the side of a building that when you look at it, it's like 45 feet. It's huge. These are huge streaming data on these screens that when you look at them, they dwarf the cars that are in front of them. It's huge. And the aquarium in there that has like a 15 by 25 wrapped up, and it's 24/7. This thing is pumping out on passive marketing. So we are marketing in Dubai. And I would very much imagine we're going to see a spike in UAE founders if we haven't seen them already. So to answer your question again, yes, we have technically started marketing, and it's a test bed for Onpassive in Dubai, and there's no better place in the world.
Wow, thank you. That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. So this takes us to the 16-month campaign, marketing campaign thing. You know, a couple of times. Jeffrey, can you hear me? You seem to be freezing. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
All right, perfect. All right. So what I'm saying, a few times we've heard Ash mention that some companies have signed a 16-month marketing campaign. And many people understand that this marketing campaign, when it finally starts, is going to run for 16 months before we finally launch. Is that really the case, or could you clarify that a bit more so that people can get exactly what a 16-month marketing campaign is all about?
I do not believe that the marketing campaign is going to run the full duration before we launch. I don't see that happening. We have long said that we've got at least 6 phases of campaigns coming out once we launch. We're going to be those marketing campaigns are part of that. What everybody really wants to know, and I see this on my lives and I see this on the YouTube, you know, they're like, so when are we launching? When are we launching? And the bottom line is we are launching. We're in the middle of a launch. We started launching already, right? The launch is already happening right now. I think what people are asking is, when are we going to start making money? You know, when are we going to see the bonuses? You know, when are we going to be able to pay the subscription and start bringing in revenues? Now, to get back to your question about the 16 months, that is being provided to us at cost by a very, very, very well-known marketing company. I know that Mr. MUFAREH had indicated the name of that, and it slips me, it eludes me right now. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a really high up there company, which you would expect. When they start running that, which I would imagine some of that is probably already starting to kick in Dubai. I do not know that for a fact, but I see the marketing going on. He said, we've hired a marketing company. You would think that the two of those would naturally flesh together, and that's being taken over there. Now, that's also going to be kicked up another notch when we shut the founder's position. So if you're looking for a flag to get your attention, as soon as we close the door on the founder's position, that's going to enable the marketing to kick in. They're going to start the marketing and the money flow testing in what we called pre-launch. I'm saying pre-public now because we're actually in launch. So before we open to the public, we really need to run some finances through Onpassive, through the marketing machine, through the AI and the automation, so that we can test the wallets, right? When you start taking money in, and then you have the AI and the marketing divvy that money up, saying some of it goes to Onpassive, some of it goes to the founders, some of it goes into these wallets, some of it goes into this wallet, some of it gets, wherever all the pieces of it go, you got to make sure that works. The marketing has got to work. The money flow's got to work. Everything needs to be tried, tested, and true before we launch, because you know as well as I do, Comfort, if we don't do that and we open to the public, I would guarantee you week one, something's going to happen. We're going to look like we've got egg on our face, and Mr. MUFAREH is all about getting it done before we said we did it. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the founder position to go away, and that's going to give us the green light for several things to start happening, namely the pre-public launch of the marketing, and you'll start getting the commissions and the bonuses. And then once that is all said and everything seems to be working fine, right? Because they're going to need to ramp it up and put a load on the system, make sure it works right. Once that's happening, I'm sure he'll talk to us about opening publicly.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I think you just said this and it brought to mind something that Ash said, I think a couple of days ago. He says, if you are continuing to ask, when is the next product going to be launched, or when is bonus, then you are never going to be satisfied no matter what. That's what Ash said. So on that note, what are we expected to be bothered about now? Because it's hard for some people to understand that when you join, they tell you that it's all done for you. And so on, people still bother about such, launch bonus, and then Ash doesn't like that. What should we be bothered about?
Well, I love it. You're right. And the wonderful thing about what you're doing here today is you are reflecting back to me some of the same concerns that I'm getting on my YouTube channels, that I'm getting through the Facebooks, I'm getting through my emails and through text. So spot on, girl, spot on. I'm loving it. Now, first, it is done for you. Or I should probably put that in a future tense and say it's being done for you, or it will be done for you. In that sense, it is done for you. Okay. Now that doesn't mean that it's already done and it's in the past. It's done. It's being done. It will continue to be done. So we don't have to worry about that. But what you're referring to when you say, we keep asking about the launch and we never seem to be happy. I agree 100%. When we have something happens, we need to enjoy that. What he's saying typically is enjoy the journey. Enjoy where you're at right now. Bloom where you're planted, okay? Right wherever you are, bloom. Enjoy it. Take it all in. Like it. There's going to be more tops. We're going to get there. It's going to be a lot of events. We're going to get there. There's going to be more rollouts. We're going to get there. But if you're continually being anxious, it simply means that you're living in the future, or you're projecting yourself to the future, and you're getting this anxiety. To get away from that anxiety, pull your perception back to the moment, back to the day. Live in the moment. That anxiety will go away. Same thing with depression. If you find yourself, you're down in the dumps and you don't really feel good about what you're doing, that's because you're thinking about stuff that happened in the past. Stop thinking about the past, get into the future, It'll all even out. Okay. It'll all even out. And what we're talking about with enjoying where we're at is there's always going to be more. So right now, just enjoy the loveliness of the divine experience. Enjoy knowing that he's working in the background, and we're going to be starting these marketing. I mean, if you want to look for something, don't jump out there with all your heart and say, oh, I want it now, 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 now. Just know, guess what? The next thing that's coming, it's going to be the founders. But right now we're doing great. We got a lot of good things going on. There's a lot of excitement. So I'm happy right here. Stay in the moment if we can, because otherwise, I mean, you're not going to push this train. You can't get behind this train and push it. You will make no difference. Right. It's moving at the rate that it's moving, and it's moving that way for a reason. We are in the middle of the launch, or we are actually launching, and there's no need to get out ahead of it or try to stress or worry about it. I had a guy this morning on my YouTube. He says, well, you know what? Seems to me like if they were spending $20 million on the building, the founders would be rolling in money. And I'm like, dude, that money that is being used to pay for the staff and the buildings and all of the bills and the prizes and the things in the giveaway and all the stuff that's being paid for belongs to the principles of Onpassive. When Onpassive starts to generate money, the founders are going to be well taken care of. So we can just relax and know that it's coming.
All right. Thank you so much. You know, Jeffrey, you are very right, because personally, I feel, you know, what I'm worried about now is people who joined Onpassive and never cared to follow up. They are not enjoying the journey, and they will never enjoy this business till the end of it, you know, because going through all of these stages and see it grow with all and so on, that's what the fun is all about. But people are actually missing that out. But however, we are happy to move on because we're doing well. That's what is important, you know. So yeah.
You know what? Just a word about that for those folks that are coming in now. You know, you could very easily live next to a huge park. You could live right next door to Disney World, or some huge theme park, right?
Right.
And every day you can get up and you can look at that theme park. But until you decide to go in, you're not going to be able to enjoy what's in there. So when people come into Onpassive and they see what's in here, take one thing at a time. Go to one ride at a time. Yes. You know, enjoy where you're at on your way to where you're going. And I would give that same advice to any of the founders. I've been in it for 3 years plus, and I have really enjoyed it. I love where I am today. I don't have to worry about what's coming because I know it's coming. You know, right. I know it's coming. So we don't have to worry about that. For the folks that are coming in today, they can enjoy just knowing, wow, I made it. I had like 3 weeks to go before I didn't even have the opportunity. And now I'm in. Let's look at all the magic that's happening, because when they close the door, it's going to get better. And I want to find out where I am now. So that's my piece on that.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Jeffrey. You know, at the beginning, you mentioned something which apparently to you, that seemed to be a very big thing from the company, from Ash and so on. The appreciation he made publicly to the team in Hyderabad, giving them the electronics and stuff. But on the other hand, somebody called me like, is this the mega event you're making noise about? You say it's a mega event just to come people here, watch, and to sit and watch people being given phones and so on. So what do you say about that? Because, you know, we looked at that to be a very big thing, offering people these phones. He has been doing this over and over. To you, it's news. To me, it's news. But somebody said, so you called this a mega event and call people to come and sit here. I think we would like to comment on this, because people need to open up their brains a bit to understand certain things.
Sure. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a very valid topic, and it's a genuine concern. Unfortunately, there are people that have a mentality or a mindset. They're not able to see beyond, you know, to get out of their own way, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that in a negative sense, because we're all different. We're all part and parcel of the world that we were brought up in. And some things happen where people get a mindset that they just can't see the big picture or understand if there's not something directly in it for them personally. Now, to define what the mega event was, look at it like this. Several days, actually beginning several weeks before that, Ash kept saying, we're going to take you to the top. Nobody knew what the top was. We're going to have this mega event. We're going to have it. We're going to have it out of Hyderabad, and we got some things coming you don't know anything about. You're never going to guess it in a million years. You know, it's a mega event. We're taking it to the top. Well, the week of that event, a couple of dozen leaders get phone calls saying, hey.
Wow.
Oh. Somebody's logging into it's not me.
Yeah. A couple of dozen leaders got calls from some of the leadership saying, Ash wants to know, can you come to Boston? Oh, are you kidding me? Wow. I mean, those leaders probably jumped for joy and were speechless. So now we've got this conference going on in Boston. Mm-hmm. We found out that we're going to take Hyderabad and pull Hyderabad into it, and there's going to be a lot of rewards and things like that. So everything's mounting, right? It's mounting. Right. It's mounting. And he's still saying, you ain't seen nothing yet. We're going to have something you'd never think of. It's a big event. This is huge. This is a milestone. You need to be a part of it. And so it's all growing, and it's indicating how big we are and how deep. I don't want to put it that way. How big we are and how far we're going before we even open publicly. We're going to be bigger than a lot of those tech giants out there right now. So if people can't understand, that's the mega of the whole thing, is hyping, giving information about what the event's going to be, bringing in a dozen and a half, 15, 20 well-known leaders into Boston, meeting with Ash MUFAREH, going live to Hyderabad and giving away lots of rewards to very well-deserving people, culminating in a car, and then even bigger than that, having the announcement that we now own 2 of the floors in the tallest building in the world. That is absolutely huge. Enjoy it. Enjoy knowing that Onpassive is that big and that powerful. And that's before we go public. Can you imagine the impact you as a founder are going to have once we actually go live, once we actually go to the public? So that the whole mega event was everything together. And yes, we've given away iPhones and tablets and cars before, but this was another big celebration ending in with a bigger boom at the end in Dubai, saying, we have arrived. It was a global event, and it was announcing to the world, you cannot deny us any longer. We are here, kind of like Horton Hears a Who, the elephant. We are here. We are here. We are here. We are here, and you cannot deny it. Nobody can deny it.
Right.
That was the mega event. Our entry onto the world stage is undeniable, and that's where we are now, and we need to just revel in it.
But Jeffrey, you've just said something which goes together with something Collins said a few days ago when we were having our Heroes webinar. He said, this is that moment, the event of the 30th has come to vindicate us. And you are here, you are like, you have not been believing, here we are, and stuff like that. So is that something the same? Yeah, so finally we have been vindicated, so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've said it before, kind of tongue in cheek, that I get more grief from I got family members that give me more grief about Onpassive. But I'm telling you what, I had one of my own brothers call me Thursday morning out of the blue, asked me how I was doing. I told him, I sent him the laser light show. He talked to his better half, and the next day they signed up. He said, I should have done this 2 years ago. So that tells you how powerful that was. He knew 2 years ago. I didn't bug him about it. I just said, okay, it's on you. I told you.
Right.
Now they're both in. That shows you the power. We were streaming global. We had 1 million viewers watching what we were doing. And there's been more than 1 million views of that laser light show ever since. We are here. We are here to stay. We are not going anywhere. And we are at the top.
Wow, thank you so much, Jeffrey. So this let's look at Hyderabad again. You know, there's something that touched me particularly. You know, the part that he presented some gifts to the Indian police and some medical part of
Oh
this
yeah.
thing. You know, I know that that is the heart of Mr. Ash Mufare. And personally, I always believe that that's the reason why I found this position and have the privilege of being here. So let's comment on the humanitarian aspect of Onpassive.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's start with what happened in Hyderabad. We've been working very closely with officials in Hyderabad in India for a rather long time. Mr. Mufar and the team wanted to make a statement to that effect, and so they had in this event, which again we haven't had officials at these celebrations before. And so we had some of the police officials there, and they provided a check, a monetary amount to that organization to help them. And that was absolutely wonderful and kind of really solidified saying, hey, you know what? Again, if you're looking at this and if you're reading between the lines, if you're calling in the police and you are presenting them with a gift, then you should be knowing we are working with them and they love us. So that's not a problem. And secondarily, when we looked at India, Mr. Mufar wanted to do something with Obless. And so they actually did the first launch of Obless in India in an Indian community where you can see that same day and see that's part of the meganess. We've now opened Obless. I mean, you saw all the Onpassive workers with the Obless t-shirts. You saw them bringing in all the machinery and all of the equipment and everything and really helping out in a big way in that Indian community, exactly where it was needed. And I'll tell you, I don't think there was anybody that didn't get all teared up or emotional when we were watching that, because when you think about the enormity of Onpassive taking Obless and bringing it to the world, and also 1.3 million founder accounts, and every one of the founders having access to Obless for their own passionate endeavors, that is going to rock the world. And when you think about the magnitude of effort being able to help those communities in need and those people that are hurting and need, that's just going to bless your heart. And that's the heart of Onpassive, and that's the heart of Mr. Ash Mufara.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Jeffrey, for just putting it the right way. I hope that people learn because, you know, there's a belief, especially us back home, the people will say, people, you know, the real colors of people when they have money in their hands, you know. So people are planning a lot when they launch or do this and do that. So we hope that when it happens, you know, so the launch or the fact that the hopeless movement was on spotlight was, I think it was an important thing because we have to keep on bringing it and making the reminder. So I really felt good about it and I wept as well because that lies deep down my heart. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's happening. I would just encourage people to have faith. You know, faith is the substance of things hoped for.
Amen.
Have
Yeah.
faith. Know that this is happening. You don't have to work it. You don't have to effort it. Just get into the flow and it's going to carry you right along with it.
Right. Right. So right now, Jeffrey, we know that the founder position, we are not yet sure. Is it still there? How much time do we still have? And what would you say to some people who are listening to us now and maybe they are not yet founders? Why would you still tell someone at this point to join it, to join us?
Absolutely. The founder's position, as you well know, Comfort, is the premier position right now in Onpassive. Incidentally, it's also the only position you can get. So not only is it the best, but it's limited. Now think about Bitcoin. What is going to happen to Bitcoin when they reach 21 million? It stops. They don't make it anymore. And I'll guarantee you its value is going to skyrocket. When we shut the door on the founder's position, right, which has its own set of benefits. I mean, think about that. Ash has created a great compensation plan. He is also initiating profit sharing with the founders. And that's through 50, 60, 70 different income streams. I mean, he's got things coming that we don't even know about, but we're going to get a part of it because we're a founder. Now, he has been very, very clear since day one. And he actually said a couple of years ago, and I quote, Onpassive is not greedy when it comes to profit. And he's going to be sharing it with us. So first and foremost, it's a premier position. You want to get in it because of the benefits. Because I'm telling you, once it's closed, man, it's all done but the dancing. And it's going to get more valuable and more valuable as we move into and as we open to the public. We're going to be well known. We're going to be globally known. Mr. MUFAREH has already indicated he's going to be highlighting the founders. The world is going to know the founders, and we are going to be there, you know. So get in now, get in. I guess we've got, and again, this is my opinion, we may have 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops before this. He might close it tomorrow. I don't know. But we are so close to this door being shut. And I am so glad when it's going to close. We don't need any more founders. Trust me, we don't need any more. It's only by grace that he's extending it. But it's going to be shut down. And once it has, then he's going to be free to tell us as founders, a closed community, a lot more than what he's told us. He's already indicated, hey, man, the muzzle comes off once we close this because I don't want to be saying all these things and try to coax people in here. We don't need the founders anymore. We don't need more founders. So get in. That's why I would get in. It's the best position. It's going to be, it's only going to get better from here on out. And it's got a lot of benefits that come with it.
Right. Thank you, Jeffrey. You know, I'm just smiling. That was going to be the last question, but you just mentioned something which I would really like you to touch on really quick. And then that's going to be the last. And then so that if any other important thing comes to mind, just say it. And I promise you, I'll let you go. What's the difference between compensation and profit sharing? What do we actually get from Onpassive as founders? Compensation, profit sharing, which is which?
Okay. Compensation plan is for you, me, and anybody that comes in, any member, a compensation plan. You come in and say you've got a website and you're a reseller with Onpassive, and whatever comes in through your website, you're getting a piece of that. You're getting commissions. So the compensation plan is it's benefits, it's commissions, it's money earned through whatever you're doing and through whatever system you've got. For instance, if I have a website, I'm a reseller, then every time I resell anything from Onpassive, I get a piece of that as a commission. Same thing with customers. You come in, maybe you don't want to be a reseller, but maybe you've got a successful business, then you go in, and as your business is going and you are developing it and Onpassive is doing all the traffic for you and you're making money, Onpassive will also enable you, if you want, to be a reseller. If you do that, you're going to be making commissions, and that's all part of everybody's compensation plan. Now, the profit sharing, that's for founders. That's because there's certain of all the money that's coming in, right? Mm-hmm. It's a big lump of money. Onpassive is going to take a share of that. Who knows? 30, 25, 30, 40%, whatever they take is what they deem needed to pay the staff, to keep the lights on, to pay the rent, to pay for development, probably a sinking fund or a slush fund, money in the bank in case something happens. They want to cover all their expenses. So it may be 35, 40, 50% of everything coming in. But after that, the rest of it goes out to the founders, right? There's money that's going to be from that profit given to us as founders. That's the profit sharing. So you're going to get commissions and you have earnings and bonuses and stuff like that. And from their profit, they're going to allocate profit to the founders, which is a profit sharing. So that's two different buckets of money, so to speak.
Oh my God. I'm just happy I asked this and you just blew my mind again, because it's really massive. We can never understand all of it. Thank you so much, Jeffrey.
Well, those percentages and everything, this is all my opinion. So, I mean,
yeah,
we really don't know. We just know it's going to be good.
Well, we always let people know that we are founders and we look up because some people are better off in understanding stuff like you than others. So everybody watching us knows that whatever thing we say now is not exact. We're either making speculations or based on what we have an idea. We are not saying that anything is exactly as Mr. MUFAREH has told us. Am I right, Jeffrey?
Right. We're founders. I mean, it's not
Yes,
like we're the techs creating all this stuff,
exactly.
but we've been with it long enough and we've seen the development. I know I have. And I'll tell you what, I'll sit and listen to Mr. Ash MUFAREH 7 days a week. When he speaks, his heart comes out and he gives life lessons and he pulls everything together, and there's a big wake that comes in right behind us and it just empowers us. And I love that about him.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. Thank you that you get empowered from Ash MUFAREH and you come here empower the rest of the world. We really do appreciate. Thank you. Thank you for always making time to be here with us. And we really do appreciate. Everybody loves you. And guys, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming, because only Jeffrey and myself here would have been really boring for over half an hour. So we are a team. That's what Onpassive.
Don't sell yourself short, my girl. I would. It would be fun. Even if we had no audience, it would be fun with you because I love you and I just think you're great. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.